Welcome back to some Star Citizen patch 3.11.1. Today's ship review will be the Crusader's first entry, the Mercury Star Runner. Let's take a quick walk around of the exterior of the ship. While we're going around this ship, I want you to focus on the design influences of the ship, the angles. Notice the wings and the engine design. Notice how wide the base of the ship is. Pay attention to the center of the ship and look at the engines. Notice the flare and the color scheme. Although we've seen a white and black ship before with red accents, looking at you, Carrick. Design on the engines and the details there. Notice where the gun placement is, the top turret. Overall, it's a pretty good looking ship. Design, flare, the accent, the lighting, all top notch. As we've been circling the ship, I hope you've been noticing what I've been noticing. Let's talk about my top 3 issues with the Mercury Star Runner. My first issue for the Mercury Star Runner starts with the rear of the ship. After seeing what the engine looks like now, that is not what they actually showed in concept. This is what the Mercury Star Runner looked like in concept. Notice what's missing is that center engine. 2 angular engines were there. The center one has been removed. Notice how much wider it looks at its base, where the top turret is, in comparison to where it is now. That center engine has been removed. Width of the ship looks like it's been shortened. The top turret has been moved forward. The way the ship looked in concept, it made it look better. It made it look faster to me. I think taking that third engine away is a missed opportunity for the ship design. Which one do you like? I prefer the concept, but maybe that's just me. Most people that have done reviews about this ship haven't even brought up this engine component is missing. And I think overall, it kind of changes the way the actual ship looks. Although some might think this is a small thing, I think overall it kind of just changes the way the ship looks from the back. And I would have preferred that they would have kept that third engine. But let's move on to my number 2 top issue with the Mercury Star Runner. Before we get to the second thing that brings me into the interior of the ship, lighting inside of this area and the depth for what we actually got in reference to what they showed in concept is way better. As we approach this door here for the engineering section of the ship, notice it's going to spaz out a little bit, but I'm pretty sure they worked that out over time. Purposely left the ship cold, turned off, so that you can see that each room initially starts dark and you have a light switch on the wall. You have a shear generator module right here on the wall, followed by compartments that are sort of just like what we see on the Carrick, holding the power module here, which there are 2 of. And in these far corner we have the cooler module. And there are two of them as well. Notice we haven't seen any engineering panels. Those sections where the actual engineer can actually look at what's going on with the engines and work on. And as we get another glitch on the door on the way back out into the cargo hold. Now this portion right here, people have been messing up as well. There's a button there to make the elevator go up. And eventually that screen that we just looked at will work, but you can actually hit the button up here and take the slow route and have the elevator actually go up, overlooking the cargo area. And we enter this door that says servers. And in here we have another light switch, followed by the ability to be able to lock and close the door. And they did a really outstanding job right here with the way the lighting works, the reflections, the shadows that are being casted by the lights that are in here. This area right here was done very, very well to show ambiance and atmosphere. So as you see, we have two sections inside the server room area where these server blades are. So this ship is going to be able to carry a lot of data. And just off the server room, as my camera glitches out, is the scanning room. Notice how dark this room is. We got another switch on the wall here to turn on the lights. And here's a minor gripe for the ship. The scanner room has nothing in it but a chair, a few more servers on the wall, and one panel. I believe this space here should have something else in it. Whether it be a projector or something to that effect on the wall, so you could see what part of the system the scanner is actually looking at. I'm thinking of something along the lines of what they have in the Carrack in the Explorer room at the top. Something else needs to go in that room. Back into this corridor here that leads back to the cargo area, the servers. Just over here to the right, we have the upper and lower turrets, which I think is a good addition to put them in the same location. Makes it easier for the crew to get to a position and actually defend the ship. We're going to take a ride down and look at the turrets. Overall, the way the turrets are in this ship is actually pretty good. It has a wide arc, be able to engage targets from above and below. As you can see, the only area that's kind of blocked off is directly above the turret. You can aim pretty much down and on the sides of the ship because of the placement of the turret now. Where it was before on the top, I think obscured the ability to be able to fire down the nose of the ship. As we exit this ship, or this seat rather, we'll press on to bottom turret. Another light switch on the wall on this side. The detail on the ship, around the seat, and all the components is, again, it's crazy to think that much detail is put into the game. And where is the power button? Here. Alright, so we turn the power on. We're going to take a little scan just to see. Again, notice there's very small break between the arc of fire in the lower turret and the upper turret. Another ship would have to fly like almost abreast of you perfectly in order to stay away from both of them, or either directly below or above the turrets, which would be a very difficult thing to do, especially while somebody was flying the ship. We exit the bottom turret. Notice the lighting again and how well this area is lit. I was trying to get a decent picture here of both of the chairs, but apparently can't get the perfect angle. Let's move on to the next door. This part of the ship says the bridge. Again, how dark it is inside this area. When you turn on the light, you notice you're not actually on the bridge. You're in another corridor, which has offshoots for the habitation and the recreation doors. I think this area should have habitation on the door versus having the bridge, or have to the bridge or something to that effect, because listing it as the bridge and it not actually being the bridge is kind of confusing. Again, you have a light panel and a open and lock door panel on each one of these sections of the ship. Now this area for habitation is awesome. It's very realistic looking, and it looks like if there was crew members back here that were taking a nap or waking up early, could use their storage compartments here to get dressed, put on whatever armor or suit that is needed. You can turn on the lights back here as well. They don't have to get out the bunk in the darkness. And I'm hoping that these shutters actually work on the beds to close them off for privacy. And we have these sliding doors here on both sides, which leads to a shower and toilet duo. Notice each one of these has the ability on the inside on the panel to lock and close the door. I think that is a great addition that all ships need, and is very nice how they hid those two locations inside of this room by using the architect in the design. That panel there I think would be useful and it would seem realistic. As we leave the habitation area, we have another signage that says bridge, although this is not the bridge. Now we are in the recreation area. In the recreation area, it's decent for the size of the ship. I really like the palette on the sofa. It just brings out the way this room looks overall. It seems realistic. I'd imagine that in the recreation area, something like this would work. I'd like to see a panel on the wall just so you can monitor where you are or see where the ship is in space. So if you know you're in here during the recreational period on a long transit and you're getting close proximity to your actual location, you can see that on a map, whether that be like a holographic display. We have food, eatery location here, a place to store liquids. And this chest table is fully dynamic. You can actually use it. As we exit back into this hallway again, we see weapon racks on the right. And we enter another corridor with another light switch on the wall. Now this area here is another space that actually has nothing in it. What I would like to see inside this area is maybe some panels on the wall that would actually show a white overlay of the actual ship, showing you areas that were open, like maybe the doors on the hologram of the actual map of the ship that they are red, telling you that the doors are open. What would be cool is they've moved that weapon rack into this area here so that if they were boarded, crew members could leave the flight deck, move to that outside area, grab weapons, secure the bridge, and then fight off any of boarders that actually got on the ship by looking at the map and coordinating to where they are or which areas that were actually open that were supposed to be secure. As we move out of this area, we move to the flight deck, which has a lights on button here and the ability to close and lock. So I'm going to be quiet so you can hear the startup in just a moment.
Crusader Industries, a journey worth taking. Systems on.
And with that, the ship is on. The layout for the flight deck is going to be super intense. All these buttons are not able to be actuated at the moment. As you can see, there's a slot in the button for just about everything you would want as a pilot of the ship. The screens have very good readability and placed in good positions so you can actually see and monitor all your systems as you're flying along. There's going to be a lot of buttons here to press once they actuate all of this. And I really like the features they put into the actual control. See all these buttons here, they're going to also be used to be manipulated while flying. And the view as the pilot is very good. Clear and unobstructed for up and to the right and left. Great animations as the seat pushes you back. Oh yeah, I forgot. There's one feature about the flight deck that is also missing. Remember this?
Has two front pylons as well, size 2. As you can see from the cockpit, it's totally glass, and you can also see the bottom of the cockpit as well. And through the cockpit glass, you can actually see the guns at the bottom. So it would be some really cool seeing the guns firing, which is what I really wanted. I just wanted this totally like just glass, just might as well show them off, you know, like yeah, some guns firing, like yeah, you know, like yes, it's fab, you know.
How did they take that one feature that the person who actually created the ship wanted and removed it? You cannot see the guns while you're sitting in the seat, and the cockpit is not glass, at least not at the bottom anyway. Which brings me to the number 3 top 3 issues with the Mercury Star Runner. Remember earlier I said you can play chess on this and move all of the pieces around. And that is true. But here is the reason why everybody is excited about this ship. Yes, indeed, the smuggler ship has the ability to actually smuggle cargo in these lower decks. I'm just going to run through them, and I want you to take in the lighting and the atmosphere that's down here, because it is top notch. It's very impressive to know that this ship has a lower half in which you can move around while not being observed from the top floors. This area here is the only area that I know that is actually a dead end that doesn't lead to another room, while all these other corridors lead to other places that you can pop out in the ship. what's going to be cool is being down here and possibly being chased by intruders who have boarded your ship, or to be down inside one of these corridors and find somebody that's stowed away on your ship. Just to see one of the outlets here. This is the scanning room that we are having issues with getting the jump to work. It's not actually detecting the collision, so let's try this corner. Yep, and now we're out of the vents and in the scanning room. The vents lead to a lot of different areas inside the ship. There's an access point to almost every room inside of the ship from those vents. Case in point, let's take a trip back here to the cargo area. And this is my number 3 top issue with the Mercury Star Runner. What I would like to see is for this secret panel back here to not have red highlights around the actual secret panel. Without those red markings there, which aren't anywhere else on the entire ship to indicate a secret access point, I think it would be a lot harder for people to realize what was going on the ship, or where that door panel actually had access at. And as you can see, this point here is where the cargo is supposed to be stored again, and we can easily access the vents again. Why the vents aren't blocked off with a doorway like the door inside the engineering room, I have no idea. But the vents should be blocked off. Because even if I didn't know anything about the ship and I figured out that that access point was on the door back there, and I could come into that secret area and see the secret storage room, I didn't need to know that the vents were here. Putting a door on that area would definitely make it harder to figure out that there were vents in this ship. Like I said, here's another access point just adjacent the turret seats, which just happens to be a door right in front of the habitation door, which leads to the bridge. And as I move back down here to the cargo area, and this brings me to my number 3 top issue with the Mercury Star Runner. Let's take a minute to look back to what the secret area was supposed to be. This is the ship's layout in concept. Notice in the cargo area that they removed the turret. Also notice the area in between the bridge and the recreation habitation area is smaller, but it is an enclosed area. And then the cockpit, which had another elongated like edge, which led to the seats, which then put the seats, I believe, out and over the glass and over top of the guns so you could actually see them. I think this layout that they actually put into the ship is a little bit better than what was concepted, because it takes away a lot of the dead space. So I would say that was an improvement. However, my issue is with the storage area, or the secret compartment area. So let's get to that part. This is an image of what they showed in concept would be the lower area, or the smugglers' positions. Notice that there's 3 of them within the tunnels, in which you could go to the far ends of the actual tunnels and place boxes. Why they switched to just having one location where all the boxes are being stored and is directly off of the cargo, I believe had to do with the size of the ship. Creating this probably would have made the ship a little bit more bigger than what they really wanted to. And I think this would have made it easier, and it would have seemed more practical. If it's a smuggler ship, I shouldn't have one access to the main room in which the boxes are actually being held. So the next question would be, if these boxes were in these areas and corridors, would there be a cargo grid back there? And I would assume that there is a cargo grid so the boxes wouldn't move around inside the hulls while you were in flight. This concept was a lot better than what they actually put into practice, in my opinion, because as a smuggler, all you have now is the ability to store the boxes into that one section where you can easily access it right off from the cargo room. And the area that leads to the secret tunnels has no door on it, so you see that. If you were to place boxes inside the corridors now, they would just be freestanding and in the middle of the walkway, and you wouldn't be able to walk around the boxes based off of the size of the box, and your character's size. That was the last issue that I had with the Mercury Star Runner. In conclusion, my top three is the engine that was removed from the rear of the ship should be reinstated or placed back because it made the ship look faster. It just gave a better design overall. The second issue I had, if you remember, was the flight deck. The flight deck not having the major feature that the actual creator of the ship wanted, which was a clear glass canopy in which you could actually witness the guns on the front end of the ship firing. And the third issue was the smuggler's storage area, which was underneath the ship. Overall, the ship is very well designed, and the lighting and the improvements to the ship design shine on the Mercury Star Runner. I just thought that I needed to make a video to bring up these three issues that every other ship review that I've witnessed seemed to skip over. So what's your opinion? Do you like the Mercury Star Runner? Are you liking the design changes? If not, or if you do, let me know in the comments. If I missed or skipped over something, put it down in the comments so I'll know to continue to make videos like this. Thanks for watching my top 3 biggest issues with the Mercury Star Runner. I make videos like this from time to time and other content on Star Citizen and DCS World. If you're interested, like and subscribe. Look for me on Twitch, where I sometimes stream gameplay. Thank you again for watching.